reassigned 5 guys: Curtis Hamilton, Jason Williams, Marty Gurnat, Kessie, and Packarainen.
We're, I mean, 5-0 loss. Not an overly physical game. You have your team you were playing, but not talented. Were you a little bit frustrated with the performance of the group as a whole, and maybe the lack of intensity as that game went on?
Yeah, kind of like I loved our start. I thought we came out in the first 12 minutes and really dictated the play. We were the stuff that we've been really hammering home on early here in camp has been our retrievals on our forecheck and breaking the puck out. We did both things excellent. But then when the biggest thing for me in the game is I thought our inexperienced defense got overwhelmed when Ferentz left, and it's a number of things. It's experience, and then it's suddenly you're to 5D, and they're getting overwhelmed with the minutes as well. The only guy that could handle it, and it was real obvious, was Schultze. Schultze was good. He was playing his game and not phased at all with the minutes. So I thought that was more of the game. These guys being reassigned have very little to do with that game. We're to a point now where the numbers have to start coming down. These guys were not in the mix to make our team at this point. So we had to get them going, and for a number of them, they're going to need much more time, and maybe for one or two, a lot less if they can get it figured out quickly.
Sorry, you're still at 43 bodies. I mean, in a perfect world, would you have even fewer, but you're sort of weighing the 5 and 7 here?
Well, we talked about it last night. I'm kind of split in half. I come from a development background, which I fully understand, and having the big group, I don't have a problem with it because I know that the guys' experience going through this camp and getting some extra games, getting some extra coaching, getting some mentorship from our players that are NHL guys is going to pay dividends, whether it's this year, next year, or the year after. So that's the one part of it. The other part of it, obviously, as a coach, you're trying to develop, and as a coach, you're trying to get your team ready to win. So yeah, you'd like to get down to the numbers. So I'm kind of split in the middle. I'm fine with our numbers right now. And the other thing is we got a heavy workload here. We played last night. It's 5 games in 7 days. You don't want to be sitting there with 30 players and beating them over the head with those minutes leading into the season.
What does it mean Pitlick is playing with those 2 guys tonight? Is he knocking on the door here? Is that the...
Well, no, we're just trying to give him a chance to succeed. I thought he played... the games are all meshing in my head together. I thought he played a really good game in Winnipeg. I thought he changed the complexion of the game where we were just kind of playing okay. We hadn't got into the pace of the game, and him, along with his 2 line mates, went out and gave us a really good shift, and then that got us rolling. So it's a bit of a reward for him. And then the other part is there's always question marks with players. Well, he played with this player, he's not able to make plays because of those players. Well, he's playing with 2 good players here tonight. Let's see if he can make the plays.
What did you see or not see enough from Packarainen, and what does he need to do to work on in the AHL?
I see Packarainen as very similar to a player that I coached before in another organization. He's got the pestiness. We like that. He's a real pain in the butt to play against. We want him to keep that up. The biggest thing for him, and we just spoke to him, is he goes, boy, there's a lot less time here. You've got to think faster. You've got to do things quicker. He doesn't feel like he's up to that yet, and that takes time. That's not something you just pick up right away. It takes a little time, and the player that I coached before took some time to get that together, and now he's going to be a real effective NHL guy. Packarainen's got better skill. It's Komarov in Toronto. So I see Pakarainen as a real similar player, but with a better skill level. And that's no disrespect to Leo. But we just asked Pakarainen to get down to Oklahoma City, get the game figured out, get the ice figured out, the speed figured out. And hopefully his development is a much shorter one than some of the other guys that we sent down today.
Bernard just didn't show you enough in games. He just okay.
Yeah, he body weight went up, body fat went down, which is a good sign. He's still far below what it's going to take to be an NHL player when it comes to strength and endurance. And listen, I know everybody sometimes, some people embrace what I talk about when I talk about strength and conditioning, and others snicker. But what we see off the ice is what we see on the ice, and that's got to be his commitment. I think he's got a lot of work to do. He's got stuff already that you can't teach, right? He can skate, he can move the puck, he's got skill, but he has to get stronger and play a simpler game with much more will.
He's an offensive defenseman, and Hunt is an offensive defenseman. Obviously, you think he's further along that line?
All the guys that are still here, we think they're ahead. And there's other guys, like, that's the great thing about hockey and the competition. There's always somebody coming. So one year you're a draft pick, and everybody's talking to you. You're in the new draft pick. They feel real special because the media are in talking to them. And then suddenly next year, well, there's somebody new, and there's somebody coming for your job. And we've had other guys step up, like Osterley's come in and played really well. And you've got to be looking over your shoulder and trying to get away from the guys that are coming and try to catch the guys that are ahead of you. And that's where Marty is right now.
What about Martin Robinson? You saw him for half a year last season. Where's his game at right now? Obviously, he's a lot bigger and stronger. What do you need to see from him, maybe that he beats out Klefbom potentially?
Well, that's going to be a battle, big-time battle. I think I'm not sure Marty's hit his stride yet in camp. He's been moved around. We've got a ton of left-handed defensemen. So he's been moved from the left side to the right side, and right or wrong, and that's just the way it is with the way our D are, with all the lefties. So, all those guys, there's a number of players lumped together there. We've got a few guys that we know that are going to play here, but that small group of other defensemen, Marty's lumped into it, where it's going to be a real battle for the last couple spots. Yeah, took a heater on his arm, no fractures, was in telling funny stories in the training room, so all looks good, but he'll probably be a few days. Always good to see guys on the ice. Means they're getting closer.
Dallas, you said on the opening day of training camp, you said, you've only got 2 NHL centers, and you talked a bit about committing off the ice and culture. You had a couple guys in Draisaitl and Yakimov that were here basically the majority of the summer. And they've outplayed 2 sort of more experienced guys that have spent time in the AHL. Would you hesitate in starting the year? It's not ideal, but would you hesitate in starting the year with Yakimov and Draisaitl down the middle, and maybe not having Arcobello and Leinert, these guys continue to play?
No, I don't want to speak for my boss, but we've had the talks, and I don't think we will hesitate at all. We're looking to go with the guys that have earned their spots through training camp. And if that means you don't want to play safe all the time. Safe is, okay, he doesn't need waivers, send him down, keep this guy, we'll see what happens. We want to go with the guys who have earned the spots. And is there a danger in that in waivers? Absolutely, but that's where the battle is. There's still lots of time here, and I'm not sure that they've outplayed those guys, but there's certainly all these guys in the mix. No one has stepped up way ahead of each other yet, and it'll be real interesting here over the next few games to see who's going to step up. But my real honest answer, and I will be honest, is I don't think there'll be any hesitation. We'll take the guys who have played well, played the best, and who we think are going to help us win our first game.
See Ollie play better.
Keith's coming. You know what Keith needs? And he just needs to play. He needs to become an everyday player. I think he played 15 games last year, and that's hard. And it's but everything there, he's extremely quick on his feet. He can move. He can have a good gap. He's a massive body back there. I know he's got the game. His confidence level is slowly coming back. But you know, Keith just needs to get in the routine of being a player every day and not an extra part.
All over the place last week. Exhibition games, the Duke, the Dinosaur Show. What's it like to finally be back at Bexall?
What was the last one?
The Dinosaur Show. That's why this.
Oh, I was like, I wasn't at any dinosaur show. No, I just see. I'm listening, right? Sorry, what was your question?
I'd like to kind of finally have camp at home.
Yeah, it's good. Like I like practicing in our own rink, and this is our home. That's our dressing room. It's a comfortable, sacred place to us. I will say this though, I did enjoy practicing at Leduc. The facilities there were great. It was great to have 2 pads, and things worked well there. But it's really nice to be back in our own building, because we've got everything here that we need, right? The meetings run smoother with our meeting room. There's more space. Everybody's a little bit more comfortable. So it's always good to get back on your own ice. As long as we have 2 groups, we'll have 4 goalies. Yeah.
Playing the final 4 games, that's what you see.
Yeah, our plan is to Victor and Ben will play the final 4. Ben got some extra work there this morning. Broswat is going to back up Victor tonight.
You don't think of a year as it just for Jeff Petrie? I mean, kind of took a lot of heat last season. He comes in on a 1-year contract for a player like himself. I mean, what do you think he needs to do to be successful as an owner this season?
I think the criticism of Jeff Petrie is overblown, unnecessary. For me, he is one of our top defensemen, and I think when you play a lot of minutes against the top players in the league, there are going to be nights that the puck ends up in your net. And who do we look at first? Look at the goalie. Then you look at the defenseman. Boy, we don't look at those wingers or anybody else on the play. So I don't think Jeff Petrie has to do a whole lot. I just want him to go keep playing. He's progressing. He's 27. He's got a lot of game going.